Joined in the booth here by Noah Seuss. We are proud to present to you tonight's showcase of NYCHSAA non-league soccer action only on the Friar News Network. And it might not be a league game, but we've still got a good one on our hands tonight. It's the Lions of Monsignor Farrell coming all the way out to Cy Donnelly Field in Melville from Staten Island to take on the St. Anthony's Friars. Now the Friars are one of the hottest teams right now in New York State. They've won 6 out of their last 6 games, outscoring their opponents 31-3. And Farrell, not on exactly the same run of 4, haven't won a game since the 28th of September when they beat Monsignor McClancy 4-2 in a non-league matchup. That being said, there are a lot of emotions on the line tonight, and Monsignor Farrell have 3 things to do, especially if they want to get a win here tonight. 1, they have to get that first win in their last 7 games. They've had 3 losses and 4 ties. Next, they have to avenge their loss from that state semifinal back in November. They lost on penalties 5-3. It was a sensational game, but the Friars came out on top. And third, Monsignor Farrell needs to pick up their first win against the Friars since August 30th of 2019, just over 4 years ago. Now, will that happen? We'll see in just a few minutes when those questions and more are answered when we get back from the break for kickoff. and welcome back to St. Anthony's High School. Again, it's the Friars taking on the Monsignor Farrell Lions in some non-league soccer action. Now, I'm Eamon Mevin, joined by Noah Seuss, and Noah, walk us through the St. Anthony's starting lineup.
Starting for St. Anthony's today is Aristido Aniceto, Nicholas Ferrara, Nicholas Galindo, Christopher Goudet, Christian Hall, Patrick Kina, Christian Kelly. Starting in net for the Friars is Cole Lawrence, Carlo Mariazovic, Dean Mertori, Justin Ramirez, and Andrew Wickland, rounding out the starting lineup.
Now, it's a couple of changes. Of course, you have the likes of Patrick Kina sliding in there. He hasn't started too many of these competitive games, but it's good to slide some of these juniors in there to get them experience against tough opponents like Monsignor Farrell. Now, I said it earlier in the opener, but this St. Anthony's Friars team, unbeaten in their last 6 games. They're 4-3 in non-league, though. That doesn't really merge well with the fact that they've only let up 3 goals in those last 6 games. How do you think that this Lions team could possibly get a win here against this red-hot St. Anthony's?
They just have to slow down their offense. The Friars' offense has been cooking lately. They're on fire. They just have to slow them down. This defense has been also good, too. Cole Lawrence has been phenomenal in net lately. He has 3 shutouts in his last 5 games. He's been playing great.
And St. Anthony's, they've done a great job improvising with the way they've slid people in and out of their traditional playing roles, and it's just worked swimmingly for them. Of course, Joe Giuano running on 11 goals in 7 matches since he moved from center back to striker. Neither him or John Walu will be in that starting lineup today, which you don't often see. You usually see captains play most of, if not the entire game. But with John Walu already out and Joe Giuano on the bench, it's definitely going to be interesting to see in a highly emotional game like this how St. Anthony's can cope with this tough of a team. And I'll have kickoff in a couple of moments. As it looks like, which doesn't usually happen, we'll be flipping sides. Especially with St. Anthony's games, you typically see the home team take that south end of the stadium. This time around, that'll be the Friars going that way. And before we get started off here, I just want to go over some predictions with you, Noah. Who do you think will really step up for either team, really? And by the end of the game, how do you think it will have went?
I think for the Friars, it's going to be Patrick Kina. Man is on a mission. He hasn't seen the field much this season, but I feel like he's going to step up right into his role and play his best game.
That would definitely be something. I mean, with Joe Giuano out, you need to find goals somewhere. And when you have hungry guys like him stepping into the lineup, he can really provide you something. And Joe Giuano actually will be slid into the starting lineup. And so he'll be set at striker to kick it off. Scored that all-decisive goal against Chaminade, that biggest win of the season, just recently on Thursday. Can they back it up now? We'll see. And Giuano kicks us off here at Cy Donnelly Field. Christian Kelly, sensational in his last couple of games. Really broke out against St. John's. He's become a staple of that Friars defense. Here's Nick Ferrara now. Switching the field back to Kelly. Christian Hall, he's got to lane through. It's him and 3 others. Cuts back. And just enough contact there for a St. Anthony's corner kick 40 seconds into this affair. And it seems there's a last-minute switch made there by Coach Correo. Just going with his guns, putting Giuano in for Patrick Kina. Might not be that shock performance that we all hope to see. But then again, you can't go wrong putting your captain up top. A bit of confusion with which ball is going to be kicked here.
The ref just kicked the ball out of bounds.
Yep.
He still has it.
And it'll be Ramirez to swing one in here. Lobbed in, past the keeper, off the line! And some poor contact there. The referee saw a deflection, And Nick Ferrara almost got the Friars on the board just over a minute into this one.
What an opportunity for the Friars there. Got to capitalize on those opportunities.
Yeah, Nick Ferrara, he's a very driven player. You have to say that. If there's one way you can describe him, motivated is definitely one of them. With a chance that early on, he's a center back. He doesn't get too many looks, so he would love to capitalize on that. But we'll see as Ramirez whips this one on here. Far post. Witchick. Lions able to clear. Kelly now. Cleared away by Michael Caputo. No support there. But the Lions able to maneuver. A through ball here. That's a one-on-one with the keeper. Monsignor Farrell for the first round's the keeper. And an early lead for the Lions. It's Sebi Cirincione opening up the scoring when you least expected it. A must-win game and a much-needed goal there as Monsignor Farrell gets a perfect start to this one.
What an absolute shocker to start this game off. Farrell came out flying, and they hit the first goal and make it 1-0.
And you have to say, that is a shocker. If there was something that could happen, that would probably be the worst-case scenario for the St. Anthony's team. Just over 2 minutes played, a 1-0 deficit against a highly physical Monsignor Farrell team. As it looks like the referee's giving a talk to Michael Caputo here. As I was saying, that is by far the worst case scenario. As it looks like Caputo might have picked up an injury. Looks like he tweaked his leg there, now limping off. It'll be an early substitution. Matthew Meager, the junior, coming on here. And St. Anthony's, they've been buzzing since that Chaminade win. It's by far the biggest win of the season so far after they made that turnaround this October. And the morale is higher than ever. And you just get put on the back foot early, we'll really see how they can bounce back from this.
The pressure is really on St. Anthony's to respond right now. They need to get the next goal stage.
And if there's one thing they can do, it's score. So let's see how quickly that'll happen, if at all. Ferrara now looking to push the ball downfield. Juanu over the top. But Joseph Musso, that all-reliable keeper, there to clean it up. There's a poor clearance here. Farrell tried to work it out of the back. It'll be a throw-in for Christian Kelly. And really, most of these St. Anthony's players, we saw in that Chaminade game, can play anywhere. It looks like Andrew Witchick will fill in that left midfielder role. He gets through defender, looks to cross it. It'll be corner number 3 after only 3 minutes here at Cy Donnelly Field.
3 corners in 3 minutes, that's a lot of corners.
You gotta say. You have the likes of Nick Ferrara, Joe Giuwani in the box. Dean Mortori is sneaky athletic. We'll see who can get a head on it here. Ramirez in towards the keeper. Off that of Hall. Just clipped it. A tad wrong. And it remains a 0 on that scoreboard for St. Anthony's. Oh.
Looks like another corner coming for the Friars.
Yeah, make that 4 corners in 4 minutes. Took a deflection after Hall. Hit it with his head. And Witchick, it's quite that special left foot of his. He'll look to whip one in here. And it's cleared away off the front post there. And this is exactly how Monsignor Farrell got it going for that last goal. They settle for a clearance. It'll be another Friars throw-in. Now, early on here, it's not too often you see a team look this solid defensively against St. Anthony's in general, but to get a goal and look this well in their defensive half, how does that happen?
It's clear that they prepared for this game. They took a lot of practice and preparation. They're looking good so far. Hopefully they don't maintain this the whole game, and the Friars can get a goal here.
Cleared away there by Anthony Lenza. Switched across. Can Ramirez win it back? Galindo cleans it up himself. And it seems that on the clearance, Galindo was tripped up. Referee called advantage. And it'll be an indirect kick inside of his own half for Nicholas Galindo. And already, of course, teams from that Archdiocesan division are known for their physicality. Monsignor Farrell more than most. And a flick in here, Juanu. He's got to look. Flicks it up to Witchick. Can he bring it down? Christian Hall will run onto it, but it's cleared away there by Anthony Lenza. And as I was saying, what they haven't been able to produce, they've made up for in the wins they have gotten in that physicality. That's a trademark of these Lions. As Ramirez turning in and out, Kelly on the overlapping run. On that far side, looks to whip it in here. He's got Moratori in the box. Did it come off a hand? No. Kelly tried to get a shot off. Hit the outside of the boot. And a goal kick for Musso.
Friars getting a little pressure going. You can see the game is kind of changing a little bit. See a little bit.
And one thing you need to see here, if you're some of those coaches for St. Anthony's on the sideline, is communication. That they have been down before, but in that win streak they've been down once, and they were down 1-0 here at home against St. Dominic's. Of course, that ended up being a 9-1 victory, and it might be a bit harder to pull that result out against the Lions. There's a bit of confusion there in the press. Chris Meager, the striker, tried to chase down Aristeo and Aceto, but again, it'll be Christian Kelly throwing it back in. Here's Marisevic. It seems his days in his traditional midfield role are numbered, as he's been absolutely stellar as a center defender. And Aceto, Meager brings it down. Now up to Sebe. Farrell with the clearance there. Can he find the head of Hall? Only as far as Lenza. Now, game of hot potato in that midfield, coming off plenty of heads as Juanu looks to slow things down. Getting it to Galindo. Hall chasing down. He gets a good touch on that, and he's at the corner flag. Can he whip it in here? Near side to Juanu. Lenza, right place, right time. And pushing the back there against Christian Kelly. In a dangerous position, another direct hit as it's played quick to Ramirez. He can let loose from far out, but he'll settle the pass back to Galindo. Friars looking to possess. There's a whip in here. Hall, can he get a head on it? And Anthony Lenza all over the place. In a good way. He's quite the intimidating frame. He's strong, wide, quick. He can jump out of the gym. That being said, it's another corner and another dangerous opportunity for St. Anthony's to equalize. As Witchick looking to set up here. Whipped in towards the keeper. And tidy hands there from Musso. Can they get going quick? They love a good counter-attack, Monsignor Farrell. And it was Sal Camisso, the senior, who had Aniceto take it away from him there. Hall down that right side. Camisso on him. Camisso misses the challenge. Hall across the middle. Can it fall to Juanu? Witchick tries to bring it down. Juanu now. Kelly lobs it in. And Ramirez was there, but Musso gets a hand to it.
What a start for Musso so far in this game.
Yeah, quick counterattack now. It's Ilan Ruizen bringing it up. Now to Sebi Strinchioni. Quality hold up play here from the Lions. Ramirez. Wing for Juanu. Tries to weigh the ball. And Musso, quick off his line, cleans that up. It's off the hands of Meager there. Friars now building out of their own half. And tries to get a nice through ball in there from Witchick. Christian Hall done a quality job getting himself in some good positions. But that final touch just has not been there for St. Anthony's.
Can't capitalize on key opportunities, which might come back to bite the Friars later in the game.
Galindo here. Wins it off of Roizen. An attempted switch there by Strinchioni. Out of bounds for another Friars throw. And now, if you look at it from face value, you look at the records of these two sides. If you told me that after 2 minutes, the Friars would be down 1-0, I mean, how can you understand? Oh, a through ball in here for Juanu. Moves off his line, cleans it up. Goalie out of the net, and just a good enough bounce for Muratori to get it. And he sticks to it. The referee played advantage, and it'll be a direct kick. As I was saying, no, that's all those tuned in. Just how has this Farrell team been able to exploit the Friars?
It's their defense. Their defense and goaltending have been playing great so far this game. They're really shutting down the Friars' offense, which has been scorching hot the last couple of games. It's all Monsignor Farrell's defense is the main point of this game for them.
Gotta agree with you there. There's Galindo. He's got a boot on him. He swings it in here. He's got Muratori. Just got under the ball a bit too much. And Musso takes it out of his own 6-yard box. For those of you tuning in, we're 11 minutes into this affair. Monsignor Farrell, 2 minutes in, capitalized off a counterattack down that far side. And it was Sebi Cirincione, the senior for Monsignor Farrell. It's a tongue twister. Slotted it into the left-hand corner of Cole Lawrence's net. Since then, it's been all St. Anthony's, but Farrell has looked pretty good in the time they've had with the ball. As Meager gets stripped of it there. Switch now to Nate Leverock. Joseph Priolo, looking more as a defensive midfielder. He was a pure defender last season, earned all league honors. As Witchick tries to find Juanu in behind. And a bit of confusion there. And it's Christian Hall now. But quickly enough, pounced on by the Farrell defense. It was Dylan McDonald, that all-reliable defender, sticking a boot in there. And in frustration, Christian Hall gave up a foul that Musso will get out of the box.
Monsignor Farrell's defense is playing outstanding so far in this game.
And one back quickly there by Juanu. Sal Casimo holding it up there. 2 Friars around him, able to keep it for the Lions.
What is it?
And Andrew Witchick on this far side.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll wait for a break.
No, how can I help you?
My name's Doug.
And Christian Kelly.
I live in the neighborhood.
2 men around him.
Thanks. And I'm
And can Aniceto switch?
Mhm.
Yes, he can. It's Ferrara now.
about this some noise level that really goes into the neighborhood. That's between me and him, and we're talking.
And Nicholas
But I
Galindo.
wanted to ask
In behind a defender. Can he switch it in? And Lenza
has that gotten back?
thanking the soccer gods that was not an own goal. It came off his shin. Galindo did such a good job to get in behind there. And a centimeter off. Going off the post and in. That being said, it's another corner for the Friars.
Friars getting a lot of corner
If
kicks here.
it has gotten, because they told me they're working on it. And the one thing is.
And Witchick,
level 8.
Friars hungry for a goal, swings it in. And again, a foul on Christian Hall.
I didn't know you.
You know, you see that pretty often in soccer, especially at the high school level. They tried to pin down the goalkeeper on that corner kick. Just a bit too handsy from Hall. The Friars look to win it back, and they do. It's Hall now. Ramirez. Can he get a shot off? Justin Ramirez cuts back to Muratori. Cleaned up by Lenza. Can Farrell get an attack now? And Aniceto looks to possess. Switch to Kelly.
Okay, just to give you a heads up, that they made.
Marisevic.
Yeah, and that's it. That's all. Yeah.
Thanks.
And Juanu into that left wing role. Finds Muratori. Turns on it. Down to Kelly. Looks to swing one in here. Galindo on the far post. And just out of reach. A couple of feet wide of that far post. A couple of feet wide of Nicholas Galindo. Again, it's just that last kick for the Friars.
Just can't get that final touch on it. It's
That-
that final touch.
Yeah, maybe it's decisiveness. Maybe it's nerves that you're down this early in a game. But the Friars need to clean it up some way or another sometime soon. And a Seto to Kelly. Mortori. Out wide to Witchick. Witchick, the former left back. Juanu. Almost a shot. Could have argued for a cross there too. But it's deja vu as it's just out of reach of Ramirez. And if you look at the records, that being the games, this Friars team, some of these Friars team members do have experience being down against Farrell. Back in November, that state semifinal game where the Friars took on the Lions. 1-0 down after 70 minutes in an 80-minute game. Now Gettysburg lacrosse player Colin Johnston connected for a goal to equalize it before the Friars went on pens. And Nicholas Galindo able to turn there. Oh, what a move there. Friars able to get it back. But Ilan Roizen pulled that out of his bag of tricks. All in vain as the Friars got the direct kick, able to build out now. And to be there at that state semifinal last year was a spectacle. Sophomore keeper Declan Whitfield, who's no longer with the team, saved 5 out of 8 penalties and scored one himself in a sudden death penalty shootout at St. John's University. Christian Hall, can he get a body in behind? He takes control. Can he bring it down? Lenza in the perfect spot again. What can this kid not do? As Christian Kelly brings it off his shoulder. Ramirez. Kelly has Galindo running in an overlap. And Ramirez tried to find him, but the Farrell Lions able to converge. And they've had the lion's share of possession, no pun intended. But the Friars just haven't been able to capitalize. What do you think it is about the chances they've been able to generate that they just haven't gotten the good look that they need?
It's been high dangerous chances all game for the Friars. They just can't put it together and put it in the net. Monsignor Farrell's defense, got to give credit to them. They're playing insanely good right now, and the Friars just need to get that next goal and get momentum back on their side.
And don't let that 4-6-5 record deceive you. These Lions can play. That is a stacked division in the Archdiocesan League. The likes of Regis, Xavier, and of course the intersectionals. You have the likes of St. Francis Prep, who they themselves beat the Friars at the beginning of October. Can Farrell produce another result to get their season back on track right before playoffs? There's a direct kick there. Nobody to connect to it. And Lawrence, the sophomore keeper. Farrell's all too familiar with those when it comes to playing against St. Anthony's. Juanu. He's got Holland behind. Can he find him? It's him and Lenza battling it out on that touchline. As in the end, it'll be a direct kick. A bit too shovey from Juanu over there. And on the sideline, we've got 2 juniors set to come in anytime now. It's Nelson Beausoleil and Justin Sotero. Beausoleil had his moments at the beginning of the season, and he's accrued quite a couple of goals throughout this campaign. Sotero, especially in these recent matches, he's been sensational at that right back spot. After Christian Kelly picked up an injury, players been moving around. Tussles there with Witchick in the midfield. Ramirez lines up some space, looks to shoot. Now on this slippery of a surface, Musso, what a job he's done. Just keep that ball in his hands.
Musso's been playing great so far this game. Same with the Monsignor Farrell defense. If they keep it up, it's going to be tough for St. Anthony's to score.
And Justin Ramirez always favors those kind of shots from outside the box. In his 4 years here at St. Anthony's, he's had plenty of those, plenty goals from those sort of opportunities, and he's not one to not capitalize on them. As looks like Coach Cray will put an extra sub in here last minute. Another junior, that's Kevin Martin, getting a chance up in the midfield. Now, it's not uncommon that this has happened in the last couple of games, but down 1-0, what do you think about this coaching staff's trust in their underclassmen?
I feel like it's a lot of trust because then they get this experience in a pressured situation when it's 1-0 late in the first half.
And Sotero in behind. Can you whip it in? Just not enough to get past Musso. He's been incredible this opening 20 minutes. There's 24:57 on the clock. And a muffed punt there, you could say, from Musso. Nonetheless, Salcasimo able to bring it down only for so long as Juanu taken down there by Elon Roizen. The referee has no hesitation there.
Takes out that yellow card really quickly there.
You can't... There's an argument. There's an argument there that he was going for the ball, but that studs up into the ankle. And especially against a star player, that's just not something you want to see. As Ramirez now takes that Galindo spot of switching it in here as he was subbed out for Sotero. Ramirez lobbed in here, a couple feet over the head of Ferrara. Again, just not enough to get over that hump and equalizing. Now, of course, earlier we went over those keys to win for Farrell because this was an uphill battle. This was always meant to be an uphill battle for them. But for St. Anthony is now playing down. Of course, it's a different game plan. But what do they need to do now to turn this game back in their favor?
They need to get the key next goal. The next goal is actually key for the Friars. You need to get that next goal because then it's 1-1. It's a brand new ball game if you get that next goal.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself, Noah. I mean, in soccer, sometimes goals do come very thin. And, of course, Farrell, that offense does take some time to get going in some games. But when you have, sometimes you have 3-goal games, sometimes you have 7-goal games. There's Juanu in behind. It's a 2v1 here on that near side. It's Terra looking to swing one in. He does. Almost finds Beausoleil. Some 3 St. Anthony's juniors tried to converge on it. And they'll get a throw in here. As I was saying, sometimes goals can come thin for this Farrell team. But in a game when you're 1-0 up, of course 2 is a manageable comeback. And we saw that with Chaminade coming back from 2-0 on Thursday. And a bit of confusion here. It'll be another corner kick. But as I was saying, 2-0 is a manageable comeback, but it's a hard one at that. The next goal is absolutely imperative, especially for this Friars team. Can they get it here? Last time they fouled the keeper, it'll be Martin on Musso. And far post, Beausoleil almost got to it. Was cleared away by Dylan McDonald. And the Lions can get moving back into that St. Anthony's half, where they've had shy possession so far. It looks like the Lions just trying to get it out some way or another. Eventually, it was Sebia Cirincione able to get it, but a bit of a tussle in that back half, and Lenzo looked to get the Monsignor Farrell Lions in a good spot here to convert. Lenza easily the man of the match, if you don't count the goal scorer. As Ramirez push in the back there on the captain, the Monsignor Farrell captain, Joseph Priolo. And again, it's a high emotions game, but when it's a high press like that, you cannot give up those tic-tac fouls. Ramirez, a couple of scissors, plays it into space. Can someone get onto it? For sure Musso can, as that's the only player in the vicinity of the destination. Musso opts not to pick it up. Looks for his striker, Joseph Castellano. Ramirez, Witchick now. Good turn. He had a goal. He had the second goal in that Chaminade game. A bit of a miscommunication there. You don't hear too much talking on the field. That's evident as Anthony's just Said it time and time again, cannot get that final pass to put themselves in that scoring position.
You need it. You need to get that next goal. So they got to get the communication going a little bit better, and they just got to find a way past this tough Monsignor Farrell defense.
And Vidina and Trone warming up on that sideline. If you need goals, he's the second highest goal scorer on this team. 5 goals and 4 assists so far this season. Musso looks to get it out. Kelly gets up in the air and brings it down. Aniceto. Sotero, fullback out of West Islip. Ferrara, he's got Kelly trying to run over the top. And it's aptly cleaned up there by Nate Leverock. Aniceto, 2 Lions on him, doing all sorts of twists and turns to get out of pressure, and that's exactly what he does. Ferrara. Martin, acres of space to turn into, goes back to Ferrara. And it's odd to see Ferrara making that run into the attacking unit. Tried to connect with his former center back partner, Joe Giuanu. Of course, before Giuanu was moved to striker, where he's been sensational, he's been a career center back for St. Anthony's since he got pulled up his sophomore year. And I mean, when you look at the numbers, Giuanu is the most dangerous man, period, in the league. I mean, in the league, he has 10 goals in 6 games at that striker position. How have Monsignor Farrell held him to only a couple of good looks so far?
The key is they just got to stop them. They're playing their best defensive game probably in a long time for them. They're playing really well so far. And it's worked because it stopped. It stopped Joe.
Aniceto tested his options. Now Farrell gets it back and looks to break. Marasevic intercepts. Cleans it up. And Witchick there, good job keeping it himself. And you were saying one of their best defensive games in a while. Of course, Farrell haven't won a game in general since the 28th of September. They're coming off a 3-1 loss at home to Fordham, which is just killer for your momentum. You have 2 games left going into the playoffs. 3-1 isn't what you want. But this is really their last chance before their final regular season game to prove how solid of a team they can be. I mean, they're the reigning champions. And a win against arguably the hottest, most clinical team in New York State, that's certainly a way to do it.
It'll truly be a big upset here if Monsignor Farrell can get this one done.
Yep.
But hopefully the Friars can counter.
Aniceto, what a job these Lions are doing in the press. I mean, Aniceto, he's been able to get this offense going all season. Oh, what a flick on for Beausoleil. Man in behind Kelly. Kelly has a look. Falls back to him. Kelly. And what a save by Musso. A handful of deflections. Could have scrambled into the net. But the goalkeeper there to make sure that didn't happen.
Unbelievable is an understatement for how Musso's playing so far. He's been playing out of his mind. He's been playing great.
What you saw there, a staple of St. Anthony's offense, those fullbacks getting involved in the other team's 18-yard box, always happens. There's Ramirez looking for Kelly at the far post, gets a head on it. Beausoleil opted not to settle for the dead ball, but it falls out of bounds anyway. We just mentioned, and what a turnaround for this Farrell team a win could be. 4-6-5 overall on the season. They're 1-4-4 in their own division. Getting a win here against one of the best teams in New York, it's something you really need.
Can definitely change the tide of their whole season going forward if they can get this win here.
And from being the number 2 seed last season, they took down Stepanak to win leagues, advance to states. They currently sit 4th in that division. And when intersectional start, they're almost a guarantee to be the 8th seed, going up in a quarterfinal matchup against one of the best teams in New York. This one quickly back by the Lions. Castellano stripped away by Ramirez. That's Casino, the first man on it.
Ferrara getting a yellow there.
You can't do that if you're Nick Ferrara. Center back in an elevated position. Coach Creo fuming on the sidelines.
Emotions are flaring for the Friars here.
Yeah, not quite as bad as it's been between these two sides in previous matchups. But still, it'll be Nicholas Galindo replacing him on the sideline. And those two are absolutely livid with the circumstances. And we were saying there hasn't been enough communication. There's basically none right now for St. Anthony's.
So quiet.
Yeah, lob in there. Aniceto, can the Friars look to break? No, they cannot. It's cleaned up by Matthew Meager. And Witchick flicks it on, finds nobody. Chris Meager tried to bring it down there. After Leverock picked it up, it'll be a St. Anthony's throw. Ramirez trying to get the team going quick. Beausoleil, he's got pace, and the Friars have got a 3v3. Beausoleil trying to find his way in behind. But it seems the ball trailed just a bit out of bounds. And we had some sort of momentum in that counterattack, snuffed out by the referee's whistle. Referee right there saw a handball off of Ramirez on the flick. And again, Lenza will get Farrell out here from their own half. Just under 15 minutes remaining in this one. There was a goal in the 3rd minute for Sebi Cirincione. Giovanni on the right side now. 2 men pinning him down. Has 3 men in the box, trying to find that far post. And just out of reach of Witchick. It's been all St. Anthony's, but at the same time, it's been nothing for them.
They just can't capitalize. Got to put the ball in the net. That's the key. It can change the whole tide of the game if they just get 1 goal here to tie it.
And of course, we still have just around 60 minutes to go in this affair. But with so much momentum leading up into this match, a loss with 2 games left to go before playoffs is the last thing you want if you're Coach Creo, and you can tell he is just so frustrated on that sideline from what you can see. As Witcher tried to find Juanu in there, Martin, can he let a shot off? He opts to go to Sotero. He tries to shoot. In between the uprights, another goal kick with 12 minutes on the clock. As a trio of substitutions here for the Friars, it'll be Moratori taking out Ramirez, attacking midfielder. Nick Ferrara, who's playing on a yellow, taking out his best friend Nicholas Galindo. And Nelson Beausoleil replaced by Vinny Dentrone. As it seems right now, it looks like the Friars will be opting for what's been almost a 4-1-3-2. I mean, they have enough technical ability to play out in any formation, and having 2 strikers up there is exactly what you need if you want some goals on the board. Moratori taken away there by Priolo. Dentrone gets back to him eventually, and Martin not able to clean it up. And the line's clear. Witchick, not many options, almost lost it, but Moratori able to get it. Martin cuts inside. Moratori. Giuanu, a good look here, and Dentrone in the box. Casino on him. And a throw deep in that Farrell half. Almost 10 minutes to go in this first. Can the Friars equalize before them? And it seems with position Giuanu's in as he flings it in there. And Dentrone, can he bring it down? Unable to turn on it. And with that 2-striker system for Coach Correa's side, Giuanu drifting a bit too far right to really execute as that target man that he's been when he scored for the Friars. Sotero elevated. Trying to find Dentrone in behind. Priolo gets it. Matthew Meager trying to build up. Moratori wins it. Witchick. Juanu in behind now. Can he get to it? Holding his head in frustration. Could have been a step quicker there. But it was a 50-50 anyways.
The Friars are looking very frustrated out there today. They're looking not like their usual selves. So
yeah, and when the Monsignor Farrell Lions are playing in the form they are now, definitely takes them aback. I mean, I was about to say, Joseph Musso let up 3 goals last game, looking as solid as he's ever been. Dentrone, good turn there. Looking for a man inside. Couple feet behind Juanu. Can Witchick get to it? Eventually he does, all the way on that far side. Kelly. Witchick, Kelly. Combination incomplete. As Kelly able to get a couple of touches on it and wins it back. And Dentrone, quite the speedster himself, cleans it up, sicking in from the striker role. Ferrara, Marasevic. Over the top to Juanu. Good flick to Moratori. And Kelly swings in with that right boot. Dentrone in the middle. Dentrone gets ahead on it.
Another key opportunity for the Friars. Got to capitalize on those.
And just a bit too little contact. Vincent Dentrone gets the Friars' best look in a while. But it's all in vain as it's another goal kick for Musso. And Meager tracking down Ferrara. And Nick Ferrara will settle to go back to Cole Lawrence, the sophomore goalkeeper. And Aceto dropping in between the 2 center backs. Witchick, a high press here. What seems to be a 5-4-1 for Monsignor Farrell. I mean, it's not the ideal attacking formation, but when you're up a goal and you can pull out a win against a team as good as St. Anthony's, you'll settle for a win at 1-0, 2-0, whatever you can get. As Alenza, been a do-it-all center back. Arguably, in my opinion, he's been the best player so far for Farrell.
No doubt.
Of course, a couple of players have been stellar for the Lions, but Lenza's been cleaning absolutely everything up. Marasevic getting it going quick. Dentrone, Lenza.
Ooh.
And you can tell some of those coaches on that St. Anthony's sideline are in disbelief. Lenza doing everything he can to keep that sheet clean for his side. Kelly ushers it out of bounds. And it looks like Chris Meager getting a talk from the referee as there's a throw in at about the 25-yard line. And he kicked it down to the corner flag. You just can't do that, especially if you're in the lead. If you're in the lead, time wasting is the easiest way to pick up a yellow, which again is an automatic substitution in the Catholic League. Trying to find Dentrone, Kelly was. And he'll get another throw. What do you think the over-under is on Christian Kelly throw-ins so far this match?
I'm going to say 2.5 right now.
2.5?
We're going to go low, over-under.
I'd probably say he's had just over 10 so
10?
far, and it's just the first half. Those Friars just trying to...
Get something going. Get the momentum to change.
Yeah, oftentimes they're killer in those wide areas. They've been trying to feed in Juanu. Not too fruitful.
Another corner kick coming up for the Friars.
Since Anthony's stacking the box there, Musso's been on his game today.
A lot of guys in the box right now.
Yeah, putting 8 people on him, certainly a way to do it. As coming off the back of Sotero there. Can Farrell capitalize on this? They got the Friars back in their own half. And Coach Creo tried to pull some tricks out of his bag there. Nothing came out of it. As can Sotero put the wheels on here.
Oh!
There's a lot of contact there.
Physical game. Very physical.
But in the end, shoulder to shoulder is shoulder to shoulder. And it might not strike you from his frame, but Sal Camiso, I mean, Lenz has been up there, but the way that Sal Camiso has been able to shut down this entire half of the field for Monsignor Farrell has been nothing short of spectacular.
I'm playing amazing so far, Camiso.
Yep. And Martin tries to bring it down. Castellano gets it instead. And Moratori back to Ferrara. Sotero now. Juanu looks to flick it on. Priolo gets a foot to it. Juanu on the right side. Sticks to it. And nobody there. Musso gets to it first.
Frustration continues for the Friars.
That's kind of an understatement. I mean, we had 2 yellows so far. No goals. I mean, at this point, they had 2 goals against Chaminade in their most recent game. And that defense, one of the best in all of the Northeast, if not the country. I mean, just before the St. Anthony's game, the Flyers took on St. Benedict's Prep, by far the best team in the country. And while it's hard to not give up 5-6 goals, maybe even 7 or 8, it was a 4-0 win, which, if there's one thing you can take out of it, you hold the best team in the country to 4 goals. St. Anthony's able to score 3 against them. Ferrara, big physical back, wins it off there. Juanu, he's onside. Looked for a flick there. Probably thought Moratori was running in behind, but the Friars get it back with Kelly. Moratori trying to find Martin on the far side. Deflected back to him. Moratori opts to switch here. His head was down and nobody there. Marisevic back to Lawrence. Ferrara, he's had plenty of touches so far this game. Back to Marisevic. Witchick now building out of the center midfield spot as Kelly's pinned up against the sideline. Ferrara, heavy touch there. Can he stick onto it? No, he can't.
Tripped on the...
Now the ball stays in play. It looks like
He tripped on the ball there.
Matthew Meager tripped on himself, and everybody just stood still apart from Nick Ferrara. Nonetheless, Friars can't make anything out of it. They look to possess. You can kind of see it in the possession now. Of course, the Friars haven't been able to string together the best amount of passes. They haven't been able to get that perfect ball. By my tongue, Sotero in now. Martin, Dentrone open on that far side. So Lenza intercepts. Witchick not enough on it. And Leverock clears it out. As I was saying, it's been pouring here in Melville these last couple of days. You have to assume these players are feeling it. As Chris Meager wins it back in the Friars' defensive third. And the manager just got stripped of the ball. Sebi Srinchioni. There's Dentrone. He's in behind. Vincent Dentrone. He's through here, and it's equalized. St. Anthony's can finally sigh. It's 1-1 here at Cy Donnelly Field, and it's Vincent Dentrone on his unfavored right foot, finally able to get it past Chris Musso.
What a play by Dentrone there to get past the defense of Monsignor Farrell, which has been tough this whole game. But the Friars finally get their chance, and they capitalize on it.
And I said earlier when he got subbed in, if nothing else, Vincent Dentrone has pace. And what a ball there to find Vincent Dentrone, the lone striker in behind. It might not have been the cleanest of contacts, but as long as it goes in, you have to take it. And now the game tied up. They were up 1 just a few moments ago, and they were able to kind of feel less pressure playing out of their own half, as they were playing to just hold on to a lead. They weren't playing to beat the Friars. But now they just have to get back into that position. As Marisevic tidies himself up as St. Anthony's looks to possess. And they've had possession for the greater majority of this half. But now with another goal, they would be able to take the lead as Juanu tries to get onto it. And just not enough pace there to find the end of Witchick's through ball. And now it's a whole new game. No favor of no team right now. And just under 2 minutes left. Dentrone trying to back up into it. And Moratori takes it himself. Down that sideline. Referee's discussing it'll be a Monsignor Farrell throw-in after it came off the shin of Dean Moratori.
We have barely over a minute left in the half. Getting close to the end to this half. Big goal by the Friars there to equalize the score here.
And Moratori looks to switch. Dentrone. Tripped up there by Priolo, but he sticks onto it. Dentrone finally loses it. Priolo gets it out. Can Farrell make something of this? Ooh. And an errant tackle there. You have to be careful if you're Aristeo Aniceto. Not too many seconds left on the scoreboard. And if there's a worse time to pick up, the worst time so far to pick up a yellow, it was just then.
Yes.
And Lenza and Priolo. Those two, as well as the likes of Leverock and Sal Camiso, have done basically everything they could to keep the Friars out of the net. And it seems that those efforts so far are all in vain. As Vincent Dentrone picked it up there. Juanu Akers offside. And the first half comes to a close. 1-1 here inside Onley Field. Vincent Dentrone just equalized for the Friars after Monsignor Farrell's Sebi Cirincione picked up a third-minute goal on a counterattack early on. St. Anthony's have controlled the lion's share of possession so far, but Monsignor Farrell have looked quite well on the back foot. But now that it's all tied up again, it's a level playing field as they will open up the second half. And we'll see in just a couple of moments when we get back from halftime just how the Friars can capitalize. And welcome back to Cy Donnelly Field here in Melville, New York. It's the St. Anthony's Friars taking on the Monsignor Farrell Lions in some varsity soccer action. As of right now, it's tied up at 1-1. A goal by Sebi Srincioni in the 3rd minute opened up scoring for the Lions, but after a half of constant possession for the Friars, constant looks for the Friars, it ended up being Vincent Dentrone who got his right boot on it, finished at the near post, and leveled it at 1-1. That's how the game stands right now, a goal to each team. It's a level playing field. Now, Noah, it's tough to score on this team in general, and this is St. Anthony, the 4th goal that St. Anthony's has let up in their last 7 games. I asked you earlier, how at all do you break down the St. Anthony's team, not once, but twice in a game?
You just got to keep playing the way they're playing. You just got to keep going. They're playing great so far. Their defense is insane. And Muso's been playing great. He's been playing out of his mind.
Yeah, and St. Anthony's, in the last 2 games, they've let up 3 goals. Before that, they had a run against St. Mary's Holy Trinity, or St. Dominic's Holy Trinity, and Fairfield Prep. And Fairfield Prep is a very quality side coming out of Connecticut. They had a 19-0 goal streak. Now, that hasn't exactly held up today, and it didn't hold up against St. Dominic's or Chaminade. But then again, the offense speaks for itself. If you're St. Anthony's, how do you get back into your rhythm and take down this Farrell team? You
just have to play your game and stick to your game. They have to keep the pressure going. They just got a big goal before the half, and they just got to do it again. Next goal is huge. If you can find the next goal, it'll be huge.
And it'll be Chris Meager here to kick off. As a handful of Friars eager to press off the kickoff. That includes Vinny Dentrone, who stays on the field after capitalizing with only a couple of minutes to go in the first half. His 6th goal of the season. And as it looks like the referee crew is still getting set to start off, we have a 4-2-3-1 for the Friars. Kelly, Marasevic, Ferrara, Sotero, Aniceto, and Ramirez as the 2 center midfielders. And plenty of progressive players. The subbed-in junior Kevin Martin, number 28 over on that far side, one of them. And now, this Farrell team, 4-6-5, not the most pleasing record to the eye. If you're Kevin Martin, just picture him right now. If you're playing in one of the tightest games you've played in all season, how do you settle with this pressure?
You just gotta settle in, settle down, calm down your nerves, and get going a little bit. You got to get the offense going, get your team going.
And quick pressure there from the Friars. Justin Ramirez over on that left side. As Friars will be playing a 2-striker system. Juanu running on 11 goals this season. And Vinny Dentrone, who just picked up his 6th. And Aristeo Aniceto, senior, who, if you remember that game, that 4-0 win at Monsignor Farrell last year, he had the goal of the season. For the Friars, for almost any team in New York. 30 yards out, straight into the top right corner. I mean, he can do anything out of defensive midfield, and when he pulls off a goal like that, that's the last thing you expect. That's Christian Kelly. Nice triangle here. Ramirez to Moratori. Ramirez looking for a switch here. Dentrone brings it down. Left foot! And right into the chest of Musso. And Dentrone goes down after Priolo seemed to trip him up there following the play.
Kind of a similar move for Dentrone there as he tried to get past the D. He tried to get past the defense.
And Joseph Priolo earned all league honors as a junior last year, limping out of that challenge he had on Vincent Dentrone. And that Farrell defense has held up so well against this red-hot St. Anthony's team. If injuries are going to be coming into play, it's the last thing you want to see. As it looks like, after an awesome first half from Joseph Musso, as Vinny Dentrone wins the ball back quick here, it's actually Michael Arcuri who sits in between the sticks for the Lions.
That's shocking because how good Musso played in that first half.
I mean, yeah, it's probably one of the best games that, as Ramirez goes down holding his ankle, Yeah, Musso, one of the best. This is probably one of the best defensive units that St. Anthony's has had to play against in terms of how they've been playing during the game. And a yellow card came out of the pocket there. A sloppy challenge on Priolo. And Ramirez, I mentioned it earlier, he loves to take shots from far out. If you don't include the end zone, it's on the 20-yard line. And can he get it on goal? 3 minutes to go. Ramirez, trick play. Can Juanu get onto it? He can, and there's a keeper at a net. Juanu, Akuri scrambling back. It's intercepted there by Dylan McDonald. And just not enough to capitalize. Ramirez sinking back, helping out his defense. Sotero. Marasevic. And now Aniceto all the way back in his own half. As Moratori gets it right back to him. Farrell kicked off, haven't had a lick of possession since then. Moratori tried to flick it on to Aniceto, but a clearance back to Ferrara.
It looks like Farrell's trying to play like a dump out type of game in the second half.
Yeah, and you could tell after they were so thankful to get that goal early on because they were able to let St. Anthony's play. They didn't have the pressure of making their own mistakes. And as of right now, it just looks like you have that high press, but as soon as you get past that forward line for Farrell, it's just the line's parking the bus back there, making sure nothing else happens, and they pick up at least a point. And Kelly tried to find it first time. And over the fence it goes, onto those newly renovated baseball fields that you can see at the far end of the broadcast. Out here by Arcuri. Kelly down to Aniceto, back to Kelly. Tried to find Dentrone. He was tripped up, and the ball won back by Aniceto. Had a man jumping there. And wonderful ball control here as the Friars keeping possession, whether they like it or not. Ramirez wins it back. 4 Friars in the area. Ramirez, a couple of scissors, taking it down that near side. Ramirez had a goal in that 4-0 win against Farrell last year. And he might not be on the score sheet yet, but he's been one of the key contributors to the plethora of looks that St. Anthony's has had so far. Moratori, back heel turn. Unintentional, but he'll take it. Ramirez. Dentrone. And Lenza sliding in. A throw in for Farrell.
Farrell's defense is still playing as good as they did in the first half. They're all back. Everyone's back for Farrell.
And if you're those St. Anthony strikers, you just have to hope that first half was a fluke in terms of how well these center backs have been playing. But the likes of Eric Lenza, he's having a day for himself. Right, Anthony Lenza. As a neat flick by Ramirez there. Juanu in behind lines! And off the bench. Into the, on the net, Arcuri got his hands to it.
Juanu has so many chances this game. He just got to put it in.
And it seems knees collided there. And after 6 minutes in the game and one sensational save later, Arcuri's down holding his knee. I mean, he's the only thing standing in between Monsignor Farrell and a 2-1 deficit. So that entire Lions sideline has to be holding their breath, as it seems that he's okay now.
Looks like he's staying in this one.
And we have the head referee seemingly fixing the net as
St. Anthony's gets ready for a corner kick.
Yeah.
Another corner kick.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of corner kicks this game.
Yeah, they had 4 corner kicks in the opening 4 minutes. And we're 6 minutes in now, and they have 1. Technically, not improvement. But let's see how it goes here. Not as intended, you could say.
Friars got to capitalize on those corner kicks. They've had a lot of them this game. Got to get a couple good looks there.
Yeah, and I mean, Joe Giuano, of course, he's been phenomenal from the striker position, but as a center back last year, he picked up 5 goals, which, as of right now, would be the second most on this year's team. I mean, 5 goals as a center back, most of them from corner kicks. Of course, I'm sure he's fine with the 11 he has now. Sotero, high arcing ball. McDonald not able to bring it down. Him and Dentrone fighting for it. Ends up at the feet of Martin. Mortori looks for that one loose! Right into the chest of Arcuri. Michael Arcuri still tendering that ankle a bit, but he looks just about okay to keep going so far. That being said, the punt only found Ramirez as Leverock settles for a throw-in deep in his own first half.
The pressure has been on Monsignor Farrell to get it out of the zone.
That's
Friars been buzzing.
And I told you earlier, you have to bet on the over here for Christian Kelly throw-ins. He's been so active down that left-hand side. And ever since that St. John's game that really turned the tide of how these Friars were playing, Kelly has been sensational. As it looks like we'll get a sub early on here. It'll be Andrew Witchick replacing Kevin Martin. Martin wasn't able to get too involved, but I'm sure Coach Clear was happy to be able to replace him with the likes of Witchick. Kelly ball slipped out of his hands a bit. Ramirez able to get a head on it. Again, Martori!
It's good.
It's good. Just over the bar. Does a somersault to get back on his feet. And another good look there for St. Anthony's. And now almost 10 minutes has gone by. What do you think of either team's approach to the game so far?
St. Anthony's has really gotten the pressure on Monsignor Farrell. Getting through their defense has been key for St. Anthony's, and it looks like they're getting a little bit more pressure this half than they did in the first.
And they for sure been able to play around it. When you come face to face with Dylan McDonald and Anthony Lenza, it's quite hard to get around. And Witchick, right off the bench, able to get it into Friars' possession. There's a neat string of passes here. Incomplete. As Sal Casimo, who had such a wonderful first half, got it away from Ramirez. Marasevic possessing in his own half. Can Juanu turn with it? Got Ramirez on that other side. He also had Ferrara, who he opts to go to. Sotero overlapping running behind. And Castellano was a striker for a greater share of that first half, seemingly outside midfielder, maybe a wing back, if you want to say that. Nonetheless, Sotero able to get a throw-in out of it. Ramirez. Chris Meager pressing in on Nick Ferrara. Cleared away there by Leverock. 3 Friars converge on the header from Ferrara there. And if you told me right now that St. Anthony's didn't have 90% of possession so far, I might call you crazy, because St. Anthony's have absolutely dominated possession so far early on.
It's been all Friars in the second half.
And Moratori shoving a man off his shoulder. Switch to Witchick. Andrew Witchick tried to find Juanu on the flick, but it ends up in the hands of Michael Arcuri. Of course, Friars, as of right now, out of the safety of picking up a loss, which would be their 6th of the season.
This could be their first tie of the season if the score remains the way it is right now.
Their record currently stands at 12-5. Very shy of last year's team, who picked up 4 draws and only 1 loss, which was in the state final. These Farrell coaches are all too familiar with that 2023 side. 2022, sorry. As whipped in here, not a lion in sight, as Cole Lawrence comes out of his box to clean it up. 33 minutes left to go. As for those of you tuning in, both goals in the first half. Dentrone, who's on the ball now, equalized for the Friars after Monsignor Farrell scored in the 5th minute. And Vinny Dentrone,
What a move.
just not going down anytime soon. As I'm sure the Friars would have liked to settle for a direct kick there, but a throw-in in that dangerous of an area is basically the same thing. Five men in the box here for Sotero. Moratori tried to get his head on it, and it's cleared out of the box there by Nate Leverock. Moratori. Sotero. Some space here to swing it in, lobbing towards that far post.
Ooh.
And a paper's length off the head of Joseph Juano.
Juano's getting so close every time.
Every time, just cannot get that final touch to put the ball in the back of the net. Michael Arcuri able to get his hands on it. And now Chris Meager, can he get the Lions up in their half? Seemingly dragged down by Witchick. And it's cleaned up there by Casimo. And Meager back on his feet. 5 Friars ahead of him, not too much support. And as they look to possess, it's Dean Moratori staying down on the ground there on that far side.
Not a good look from the Friars. Team Moratori is down. Oh, he's going back down.
He tried getting up. He was holding his leg. But not too much yelling and screaming from Moratori. Definitely good to see, but he will be coming out. As just like it never happened, Kevin Martin's back on the field. Good to see Moratori able to get himself off. Of course, a handful of seniors have had to deal with injury problems so far this year. Most notably, John Owalalu. He had a goal last year against Farrell. And in the handful of games he played this season, he put together 6 goals and 2 assists. Chris Godoy as well. He won't be playing this game as he's worked himself back from an injury that kept him out the first half of the season. And Zachary Lull, the Riverhead transfer, his first year here at St. Anthony's. He was quality as a center midfielder, but picked up an injury during the St. John the Baptist game here at Cy Donnelly Field earlier this month. You have to say that this is one of the deeper teams in the state. And when they have guys going down, they can handle it. As a flick here by Dentrone, found himself in behind. Witchick wins it back. Nobody on the end. And Arcuri has had a lot to do so far in this opening 12 minutes.
There's been a lot of pressure on that Monsignor Farrell defense so far this half. They can't get it out of their own zone. They can't get it in Friars territory. We'll see if the tide can change for them, or will the Friars capitalize and get a goal here.
And seemingly the entirety of the game, apart from that goal, was meager. Almost a perfect ball. That 1% off his foot, not able to find him in behind. As I was saying, you have to feel like, apart from the one goal that Farrell had in the opening couple of minutes, the ball has been almost entirely in the Monsignor Farrell defensive half.
They really have not had any pressure in this half after their goal 3 minutes into this game. They need to get more pressure on if they want to get another goal here.
I have to agree with you there, as it looks like the junior, Anthony Cipriano, waiting to go on here on the sideline. For Coach Carreo's side, doesn't look like there will be any changes anytime soon, not a single player warming up. Witchick, Dentrone, overload of players here on that left side. There's a weighted ball. Juano able to round the keeper. The offside flag is up. Referee hasn't noticed yet. And it seems like they'll play on, and it'll be a St. Anthony's throw-in. And Juano pleading with the referee here. It was a 50-50 there, and he thought that Arcuri might have clipped his ankles a bit. From this angle, it seemed as such. That being said, not a single soul agreed with us. And the Friars resume play. Dentrone in the corner. Tries to lob it in. And Arcuri keeps it in bounds. And can the Lions get any sort of offense? It seems a bit too much chatter out of Justin Ramirez, who seems just completely shocked that he picked up a yellow there. And Christian Hall, after playing the opening 20 minutes, he'll come back in for St. Anthony's. It seems the coaches are a bit in their own sense of disbelief, as Ramirez likely thinks he did nothing wrong. You could see after Juano almost got a penalty, he was talking with the referee was talking with him, and in the CHSA, you just can't do that. So drop ball here. Arcuri looks to punt it out, maybe get his team finally possessing the ball in the Friars' half. That was after a couple of headers. And a Seto, nifty fake shot there. Able to get it up to Witchick. Can Witchick drive now? He opts to pass it. Juanu. Kelly some space on the near side. Vincent Dentrone and Christian Hall in the box waiting for him. Takes it to the touchline. And after a battle there with Leverock, it'll be a throw in a dangerous area once again for St. Anthony's.
The Friars are applying so much pressure here, it's trapping Monsignor Farrell in their own zone. The Friars need to capitalize on these opportunities and get another one here.
And Anthony Alenza gets to it first before anybody. Kevin Martin closed down. And you don't often see a lateral clearance in soccer, but that's exactly what happened, as it's the same scenario on the other side. Dentrone, the goal scorer for St. Anthony's. Back to Aniceto. Aniceto to Dentrone. Has a rocket of a left foot, looks to take it here! And inches off of 2-1.
Great shot there, barely missing wide.
Michael Arcuri, thankful he didn't have to, that he's running behind his goal to pick it up instead of out of his own net. As Vincent Dentrone has done everything he possibly can to get his name on that score sheet and more. Looks like you have Jameson Dratty, Stephen Galindo, and Dean Moratorio looking to come in eventually for St. Anthony's. As Christian Hall wins it back in the midfield. Dentrone looks to flick it. He's played so strong so far, able to keep the ball as what looks like an attacking midfielder. And Aniceto, fake shot. Back on his right, looks to shoot! And right in between that sweet spot, between the uprights and the crossbar, nonetheless, this Farrell team is so thankful that they're not down.
Friars getting a lot of close chances, just got to put it in the net. It's not just missing.
Gotta agree with you there. It was like that in the first half. They couldn't get that last pass. They did get some good looks, but they just couldn't get the perfect look. Eventually they got that with Dentrone, who equalized. But now in the second half, the Friars are all the way on the front foot, and they just need that perfect shot. They're getting the looks they need. It looks like Joe Juanu, can he bring it down in behind? Tried to flick it to Dentrone, but now Kevin Martin on the ball. Can the junior let one rip? Converged on by a handful of defenders there. As Otero looks to reset back to Ferrara. Ferrara driving out of a center back position. As Aniceto looks to clean up for him there. 2 men high to press for the Lions. Christian Kelly back to Ferrara. He's got all sorts of technical ability. He dumps it off to Kevin Martin, who's taken off the ball there by Priolo. Priolo gets it out back to Christian Kelly. And Dentrone couldn't figure out where the ball was. Tried to find himself in behind, but Dylan McDonald there to intercept. And now it seems that Christian Kelly, the standout fullback, oh, never mind, he was just being called over to the sideline. It's actually the goal scorer, Vincent Entrone, and easily one of his best games so far this season. He'll be replaced by his fellow senior, Jamison Dratty. As Dratty, excellent at forcing mistakes. He's a very physical player. And if anybody can press as good as anyone, it's Jamison Dratty. As Kelly lets one loose. Good contact, just not enough direction. And again and again and again, we have to say it, it's all St. Anthony's right now.
The pressure is on Monsignor Farrell. They got to get it out. They just can't get it out.
And Casimo tried to find his man Castellano down the line. It'll be a throw-in as the ball boys here at St. Anthony is working overtime. Marasevic. Aniceto now working his way down the sideline. Weaving around 4 Farrell defenders. Don't see that every day. Friars keep possession. We mentioned earlier, Anthony Cipriano joined up in there in that striker partnership with the goal scorer Sebri Cirincione. And with the way the Friars have been possessing, they've got nothing going so far. As what a ball there. Can Hall make something out of it? Juanu seemingly tripped by Casimo, but Casimo looking to break now. Ferrara wins it back, and no whistle on either side. As people pleading on both sides of the stands here that their team should have got that. And a good look here. Down this near side. Now keeps it themselves. And hands came up. But just happened to not be from the referee.
A lot of physical play, a lot.
The whistle stays silent as Priola looks to let one loose. Another shot here. Priolo again. Captain trying to do everything for his team right now.
That was the first real opportunity that Monsignor Farrell has had this half.
And time has flown by so far as Christian Hall looks to go in behind. 20 minutes left in the half. And the second corner kick so far for St. Anthony's in this half. After piling up 6 in the first, it'll be Andrew Wichik going short. Christian Hall, Wichik on the left finds Ferrara. Ferrara trying to turn. More of a punt than anything, as he got way too much under that. And I'm sure Michael Arcuri will settle for that. There's only about 21 minutes left to go. Score still at 1-1 after 2 goals in the first half. And it was only about a 30-second set of possession, but those 2 blocked shots there from Priolo were the best looks that Farrell has had all day. Now Ferrara and Aceto, can he turn into it? As Juanu, offside flag stays down. Kelly, can he let one loose? On the right foot, it's Christian Hall now in behind. And it's turned in! Jamison Dratty, where did he come from?
The late sub.
As all sorts of confusion, the Lions were looking to the linesman.
Jamison Dratty capitalizing on his opportunities, subbing in late, but he gets the big goal to give the Friars a 2-1 lead.
And it took him 70 minutes, but finally the Friars have their first lead of the game. And it's all smiles, especially on the face of Jamison Dratty. His 4th goal of the season, and his biggest, arguably, so far. Finds himself in the right place at the right time as Christian Hall picks up the assist. And Dratty, happy as ever, able to tuck it in on that far post.
We have to see a push here from Monsignor Farrell if they want to get back into it, to see a little offense from them. We had not a lot of offense from them in the second half. Only that one opportunity that you said earlier, but we had to see something.
And this is really where things can get ugly for either side. The Friars, the last thing they want to do is let up a sloppy goal like the counterattack early on in the game. That being said, Farrell need a win here. They have 2 games left in the regular season, and they need some sort of positive to come out of it. Christian Hall, blazing speed down that far side. Dylan McDonald wins it off. Only as far as Kevin Martin. As I was saying, Farrell needs to put a lot into winning the ball back and capitalizing on when they do. That being said, they're not going to be able to park the bus like they have when they had the lead and had the tie. But if they're going to make anything happen, they need to ease up a bit on that low defensive block that they've been running all game. Let's speak of the devil down the sideline. It's won back quickly by Nick Ferrara. Only a couple of seconds of possession there for Farrell. Not much support up. As it doesn't seem like Farrell have gotten out of their low block yet. And Juanu, almost a mistake there by Lenza. Those come very, very lightly, especially tonight. Martin now playing out of the center mid position. Andrew Witchick, Martin to Satera. Now Marasevic. Christian Kelly. He's got Jamison Girardi at support on the sideline. And Martin doing all sorts of twists and turns. And Jamison Girardi gets it to Juanu. Friars able to keep the ball. And no whistle here. Won by Leverock there.
The Raptors are really letting them play late in this one.
In one of the more obvious yellow cards you'll see this season, Carlo Marasevic just 2 foot took out the Monsignor Farrell goal scorer, Sebi Cirincione, as an automatic substitution off of the yellow card. It looks like Steven Galindo will be replacing Carlo Marasevic. As Sebi Cirincione still down.
This doesn't look good.
Yeah, I mean, he's quite literally the only source of offense that the Lions have gotten all game. And if you're going to be without him, if he does get subbed off, that's the last thing you need.
Looks like he's walking on his own will right now.
Good to see. It looks like less the tackle that injured him and more the fall afterwards. And as Marasevic comes out, it'll be the senior Steven Galindo, who spent most of last year playing the wing, taking that spot next to Nick Ferrara as a center back. You wouldn't be surprised here if the Friars move some things around, as Marasevic, coaching staff eager to get him back on as he's already waiting on that touchline. And standing over it, Anthony Alenza. They're down 1 goal right now. But still, the center back has easily been one of their best players so far. Without him, it could easily be a 3-goal, 4-goal game.
A lot of physical play down low.
And Andrew Witchick and Joseph Priolo running routes over on that far side. As assistant coach DJ Correo urging his team to get the ball out here, as that's exactly what Joe Juanu does. Whiffed pass there, and the Friars look to counter. Jamison Girardi. He's an option there. Bit of a push-off, but he's still looking to get onto it.
A lot of pushing and shoving.
It's a physical matchup, and that's exactly what we were promised. And Jamison Girardi, a bit too many pushes in the back there for the referee to allow. But in the end, it doesn't look like it will be a foul. It'll just be a goal kick. And the first goal scorer for the Friars, Vincent Dentrone. He's got a heck of a left foot, but he scored with his right with a couple of minutes to go in that first half. let's see what the Lions can do here with just about 17 minutes to go left in this affair. For those of you tuning in, it was an early counterattack that got the Lions on the board in only the 3rd minute. But by the end of the half, it was Vincent Dentrone finding himself all alone to equalize. And just now, it was Jamison Dratty fed in by Christian Hall to give the Friars their first advantage. As Dentrone and Aceto. He looks to switch here. And Juanu's in behind. Offside flag is up. And so far, it's finally made its way to a positive scoreline for St. Anthony's. But who do you think has had some of the more positive performances coming from the black and gold?
I think it's been Christian Hall. He's been playing great this game, playing good defense so far. It's been a lot of good play from St. Anthony's. Cole Lawrence, very underrated this game, with a lot of key saves to keep it at 2-1.
Yeah, and in the couple of looks that Farrell has had, that Friars defense able to really shut him out. And as you were saying, Christian Hall, in the about half an hour or so that he's been on the pitch, done well in pressing, finding himself in good positions, and of course he picked up the assist on that second goal. As Martin wins it out of the air and Priolo holds on to it. Castellano looks to switch it, and Kelly looks to punt it out of there. As Juanu, he's onside, he finds himself in. Juanu around a man, lays it off to Dentrone! And just over the bar.
Dentrone's been playing amazing this whole game. Another opportunity there to get a second goal, but just a little bit wide.
And that could have been the cushion the Friars needed. Monsignor Farrell still has a chance to equalize, although they have been getting very few chances so far. And it's been a plethora of good looks for the Friars, and Vincent Dentrone has been at the end of plenty of them, especially that first goal. Christian Hall again wins it out of the air. He's been everywhere in that midfield. And Juanu, hands are up there, and a push in the back is called on him. And it'll be Anthony Alenza getting the Lions into that St. Anthony's half. It's 4 men up. You think you need a bit more if you want to come back and even get a point, maybe 3 if you're Monsignor Farrell. And a foul there. Not great from Aristeo Aniceto, who just has to accept it as he intercepted the landing there of Chris Meager. Now 4 men in the box for the Lions. They have to go quick. Leverock. Quickly one back by Martin. And Leverock gets it back for himself. That being said, the ball just trailed a bit out of bounds. So with just under 15 minutes left, it'll be St. Anthony's ball on this near side. Friars taking their time now. As Coach Correa says right away, even if the Friars don't get a goal, they just need to get this game over and done with before they head into the home stretch of their league season. Juanu now sinking into sort of a central midfield role. As Mirasevic, he can play those nice balls, and that's one of them. Christian Kelly, just a yard or two short, comes off his foot and trickles out of bounds as Leverock from Monsignor Farrell looks to get it going quick. And Aceto, Chris Meager wins it in the air, and Martin cleans it up. Witchick, a bit too shy of a ball there, but he wins it back eventually. And now Sotero, he can whip it in. Battling on the far side with Casimo, who settles for a throw-in favor of the Friars. Now Christian Hall's an option here on short, but Vincent Dentrone and Joe Juanu waiting in the box. And Aceto brings it down. Lovely turn there. And Christian Hall's in behind. Can the Friars get their third? Akuri says no!
What a save there by Akuri. Getting the ball out of his territory. But the Friars still have possession.
And Dentrone not able to get a foot on it, and Chris Meager. It's Marasevic, the one man in between a one-on-one here with Cole Lawrence. And he's able to clear it out of bounds. There's a sigh of relief there, as the too many Friars were up, leaving a one-on-one with Marasevic and the goal scorer Cirincione. And those two Friars center backs, both sitting on yellow cards. As much as you want to make sure that nothing happens, you have to play it cleanly. There's an attempted weighted through ball in behind. Cole Lawrence. He'll pick it up, send it over to Christian Kelly. Kelly, he had a very good look at the end of that first half to maybe make it a 1-1 game when the Friars were still down. He has 4 goals and 2 assists on the season. You don't typically see that out of your average left back. That's Kevin Martin driving forwards now, intercepted by McDonald. It's Matt Meager now. Christian Kelly intercepts that one, and now it's Dentrone, and the Leverock clears it away to the feet of nobody.
Monsignor Farrell has to get going on offense. They've not been getting anything going in this second half. They really just got to start getting more offensive pressure on the St. Anthony's defense.
And you can't really see. It was the case for St. Anthony's in the first half, but 1, it's communication, and 2, it's emotion out of this Farrell team as Casimo wins it off of Martin. And skipping behind. Priolo in the box. Can he level? Cole Lawrence gets to it just in time.
That was the best Farrell chance out of the half that we have seen. They haven't really had any offensive pressure. It's been mostly St. Anthony's, and here they come down the field again.
And it's Christian Hall cutting back on his right. Leverock able to double there and get it out. And now Matthew Meager on this near side. Joanu tracking him down. Christian Kelly gets a stab in. And a Seto too. And a bit too much of a shove there from Dentrone, as it'll be a direct kick for Farrell right on the halfway line.
Been a really physical game here. Both sides are playing really physical.
As the clock ticks to just under 10 minutes now, the Friars hold a 2-1 advantage. And now lobbed in here, only goes as far as Kelly. Can Dentrone keep it in? He's got speed, and that's exactly what he does with it. Good work possessing there. And right to Joanu, flick on here, and the Friars keep it. Fortunate set of bounces there. And Dentrone tries to keep it in, but you have to appreciate the hustle, as that's exactly what that Friars bench is up ovating him for. We have a substitution now, as it seems that Vinny Dentrone, once again, Friars' first goal scorer, he gets subbed out for the likes of Dean Moratori. Of course, the last time the Friars played non-league, it was up in Connecticut at Fairfield Prep. It was downpouring, and a Dean Moratori goal from just inside the 6-yard box was able to usher the Friars to a 1-0 win over the Stags. And Dylan McDonald ushering his team and pleading for them to go forward. That's exactly what they tried to do there, but it ends up at the feet of Witchick. Witchick now comfortably in that left wing spot that he played for most of that game against Chaminade. As Kelly, with 2 men pinning him down, almost rolled out of bounds, but it's cleaned up there by Leverock. And now Chris Meager trying to close down Aniceto. The Ferrara now. The sun's finally come out for the first Saturday in a while. And Castellano poked away by Sotero, and Christian Hall gets his feet on it. Shielding it in the corner. And a corner is exactly what the linesman points out.
Another corner for St. Anthony's here. You think they're going to capitalize on this one?
I think they have to eventually. It just seems like everything has been going the Friars' way so far in this first half. And a corner kick is a free cross, really. It doesn't get much better than that. When you have the likes of Joe Giuano in the box, you have the facilities to. This will be Witchick, front post, Aniceto! Poor contact, poor result. And a goal kick with 7 minutes left to go for Monsignor Farrell. As the ball is moving there, stalling a Lions resuming of the kickoff. And Aceto brings it down. Witchick. Shoved out of bounds there by Leverock. It's another throw for the Lions. As Maracevic plays it back. Lawrence with all sorts of space and time. Dumps it off to Ferrara. Finds Aniceto. Again, with all sorts of space to turn. Giuano, Kelly. Plenty of options for him. Aniceto can't turn here. Gets it to Ferrara. Aniceto always a fan of being able to switch the field. So what a ball there by Ferrara. Sotero, can he get a foot on it? McDonald, the last man back to keep it from a quality shot there from Sotero.
What a pass by Ferrara there to get some pressure on the defense here.
It'll actually be a goal kick here, as seemingly the last touch came off of Sotero's boot. You have to be surprised. 5 minutes left, you're only down one, and not much pressure being put in that defensive half by Monsignor Farrell. I mean, Ferrara had all sorts of space there to play in behind, and it just doesn't seem like many of the players are on the same page for the Lions.
I feel like the Lions don't have much urgency here. We need to get a little bit more urgency to tie this game up.
And Christian Kelly all alone to clear it out of his own half. There's Witchick off his head as well. Up in the air by Giuano. Can Christian Hall get onto it? Casimo and him battling on that far side. And it's Casimo who comes down with it. Christian Hall wins it right back though. Good cutback. Christian Hall crosses it in! And doinks off the upright. And some quality hustle there, you have to say. Christian Hall played about a half worth of minutes. He's picked up an assist. Some quality looks. Some quality crosses, you have to say, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Martin now playing as a center midfielder, all sorts of space. Good job turning there, getting it to Aniceto. Playing around Aristeo Aniceto. Kevin Martin has almost become a foil of him, especially this game. More so a clone. They're basically the same player, especially tonight. With 4 minutes to go, clock's still running. As the Friars are taking all sorts of time to resume play. It's Christian Hall on the touchline. Over Casimo, off the tucked-in elbow of McDonald. And now Arcuri. Good ball there to Priolo. Priolo has a man in behind, not able to get it to him. It's back to Lawrence. Now 3 minutes left. Can the Friars close out and pick up their 13th win of the season? Extend their winning streak to 7. And Aceto looks for a ball in behind there. And Witchick did get to it, and now it's a flick on here. Christian Hall, offside flag goes right up.
Christian Hall has been fantastic this whole game. It's been the hustle, the assist, he's just been magnificent this entire game.
Direct kick there off the offsides. Ferrara with little to no pressure on him. He just gets it out of there and has Farrell chasing balls out of their own half with only 2:48 left to go.
We need to see urgency from Farrell here if they really want to get back into this game and tie it up at 2 apiece.
It's really something that you expected to see earlier. I mean, Jamison Draddy got that goal with just over 15 minutes to play, and since then, Farrell has picked up little to no chances. It's Ferrari here with the throw from his own 30-yard line. He tosses it to Sotero, who gets it up to Farrell's McDonald. Ojuanu, or Curie, he was well out of his box with not many options. And just opts to kick it out of bounds with Joe Juanu closing down on him. Not something you often see, especially when you need to get the ball in the other half. Sotero. Moratori flicks it on. Martin trying to get onto it. And it's cleared out now to Aniceto. Only a couple of minutes left to get some good looks here and equalize if you're Farrell. Ferrara now. Sotero clears it out. And then their own half, Cosimo looks to get out. Here's McDonald, only gets it as far as Moratori. Another throw in here for the Lions.
They're making their way upfield very slowly here. They need to go. They need to get going.
Mirasevic, again a throw here, 1:18 left. And Coach Creo screaming at his players out on the field to get this out of here as soon as possible. McDonald to throw. Ferrara gets it down. Ferrara again clears it out.
Big clear for the Friars right there. Absolutely
Big
huge.
clear. And now Moratori, he can bring it down and break. He crosses it to Witchick. 50 seconds left on the clock. Juanu, one-on-one here with Leverock, onto his left foot. Juanu. It's a corner kick for St. Anthony's. The referee has not opted for the clock to stop. And now with 31 seconds left, the clock is running down with the ball against the corner flag for Farrell. It'll be Witchick taking his time to whip it in as the clock goes under 20 seconds. Now have to go short. 10 seconds left in this game. Witchick. Ball goes out of play. And 5 seconds left. And it's quite the odd turn of events to end out the game. But that'll be it, folks. Out here inside Onley Field, it's a 2-1 win for St. Anthony's over Monsignor Farrell. That extends it to 4 straight seasons where the Friars have beat the Lions, and what a game it was. An early goal for Farrell in the 3rd minute saw the Lions go up early and sink back into defense. Eventually, the Friars broke through off the foot of Vinny Dentrone, and in the second half, it was Jamison Draddy coming off the bench to make it a 1-goal win for St. Anthony's.
The Friars' offensive pressure definitely stepped up in that second half, and it was key for them for this victory.
And they really controlled the game in what's their 7th straight win now and 13th on the season. From Side Onley Field in Melville, it's Eamon Bevan and Noah Seuss. Thank you for tuning in.